What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development. And today I have a very unique, hopefully, Traptrix deck profile. There's a few different techs and things I've been exploring with this post-Syac. I've tried a lot of different things and not really been satisfied until I landed on a few other techs in here that I really enjoy playing based on my playstyle. But I think this deck is actually kind of underrated in the given format. Traptrix, I didn't realize or give enough credit to the weight of how heavy the Xyz and the Links and the Field Spell all kind of protect each other and really create a very solid board state, more than what I realized. So I wanted to revisit this and do a more pure version other than kind of like the Synchro, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Traptrix, Therian, craziness combo that you saw me share maybe a couple months ago. So I wanted to revisit this and do some due diligence to pure. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase the main deck, the side deck, and the extra deck. Okay, starting with the main deck, we play 3 Traptrix Myrmilio. I feel like this is pretty straightforward, pretty standard. Not much needs to be said here. One of the best starters in the game, searches Whole Utea, the best extender the deck has been given in a long time. 3 Mantis, again, your primary searcher and other starter, just because, again, it can search an extender like Arachnacampa. And then 3 Pudica, again, searching the field spell to get your second normal summon is extremely important, as well as the ability for this card to be a disruption, and the field spell to offer some protection and an extender as well. After that, we do play the 3 Arachnacampa. I know some people play 2 of this and 2 Dionea. I still like 3. I like guaranteeing that I can still play, even if your normal summon is interrupted. This deck is truly built to be able to play through hand traps or disruptions when you go first so that your normal summons and your links can resolve. After that, we do play the 2 Dionea. Of course, not much really needs to be said about that. For the rest of the Traptrix package, it's going to be pretty straightforward. We play the 1 Garden and the 3 Whole Utea. I don't think much needs to be said about these. Whole Utea, best card in the deck, absolutely amazing, does everything you want. And then for the trap holes, I'm only on 4. Some people are on 5-ish, along with evenlies and things. I've changed this quite a bit. I'm only on 4. My 4 of preference are the 2 Gravediggers, just in case you open one to guarantee Rafflesia is live for that use. 1 Nightmare, and 1 Floodgate. I think these are probably the best 4, or at least the best 4 I've had the most success with, but that's really it for the Traptrix package. Nice thing about this build is you have a lot of flex spots to take this in whatever direction you can. I wanted to do something different that is not just 12 additional hand traps. For the consistency pieces and the extenders starting off, we are on 3 Prosperity. I know this is unfortunate. If you don't have these or don't want to pay for these, there are other cards you can utilize. I have tested Morganite, I've tested Sakatama, and I've tested the Rika engine. All 3 of those are cool and unique in their own way, but just don't do the same as Prosperity. I would say the closest I appreciate in all those probably float between either Sakatama or Morganite, believe it or not. Rika is great, does a lot of disruption, but it really just is not good enough. Like, you feel like you need, for it to be effective, I need the Rika engine plus 2 additional names, which is just quite a lot to ask of this deck, and I'd rather draw other cards. Of course, the other extender you can play is 3 Shade Brigadine. I still believe now, after testing, like I said, Rika, Sakatama, and Morganite, that Shade is just still the best secondary extender to go with outside of Parallel Exceed. It triggers Sarah. It can make Parallel by turning this into a Link Spider. It's usable immediately. It just checks every box. Even when you open the other extenders, a lot of the times I just rather have Shade because it gets value off of Sarah as well. You don't have to play as safe. After that, again, like I said, the best extender is Parallel Exceed. We're really trying to give ourselves some buffer room between Exceed, Shade, Whole Utea, Prosperity. There is a lot of consistency developed into this deck. The rest of the deck is going to be a little bit different, more defensive cards slash maybe hand traps, kind of a blend of that. Starting with that, we are on 3 Infinite Impermanence. Again, the best hand trap to use at any point at any turn, as well as the fact that, again, it's a trap that can be pitched off Whole Utea. After that, we are on 2 Gamma Seal and 1 Called by the Grave. In reality, these 3 are Kurikaras. I have been testing that quite a lot. My friend is at YCS Philadelphia this weekend, so he is borrowing my Kurikaras. I'm really hoping he does well. But if you have them, I love Kurikara. It makes up for a lot of the offense and going second capability that this deck lacks. But again, if you don't want to pay the 45 to 50 bucks a copy of those, something like this is perfectly fine. 3 Kaijus, a couple Kaijus called by tactics, any other going second board breaker slash card of your choice will work here. And then the, I guess, spicy tech of the list, the card that I've really enjoyed the most is a very old card. If you've been around for a while, you might know it. But this is Pianissimo. If you're unfamiliar, it's a quick play spell. I used this a lot back when Relinquish was a deck for a split second with Jin Releaser of Rituals, if you remember that toxic format. But this basically, my friend Sunny P reminded me of this. I completely forgot about it, tested it, fell in love with it. You target a monster, it makes its attack and defense become 100, or sorry, attack become 100 for the turn. Then it can't die by card effects or be destroyed by battle. This card is amazing. It fills the checkbox of what I'm looking for. I want to guarantee that my Sarah or my normal summon sticks. Ghost Ogre, Gamma, any type of cards like that that destroy and remove truly hurt this deck. You can't then extend with Parallel Exceed. Your Shade is dead because you just have Shade. You can't do anything with it. My goal was to guarantee the normal summon or the Link 1 sticks, whichever one I want to prioritize, and this really let that happen. Also in a going second board state, if you go first, or sorry, and your opponent is going second, to have a full board with like Rafflesia on the board, and then you protect Rafflesia so they basically just can't get rid of any of your stuff is incredible. So really cool card. I like this a lot. If you want to test it and you're looking for something for that kind of protection feel, I'd really recommend it. It's very, very solid. Okay, for the extra deck, I'll start with the links and then just kind of work our way through the exceeds. For starting off, of course, is Triple Sarah. Again, the best the best link the deck has to offer. This card is still such a powerhouse of a card and really what makes the deck happen. And then afterward, one Adipus to help close out games. I'm not playing the Link 2 Caleria. I'm not sure what it's called off the top of my head. More and more in testing, it's just not as great. If it could reborn Sarah specifically, since it has to reborn in defense, it can't, I would definitely play it, but just making room for other stuff, that felt like the most cuttable card. And then for the Link ones, one Link Spider, of course, for the Shade, and one Relinquished Anima. Like I said, I typically do play Kurikaras in here. They're just being borrowed. So this card is also, I think, the best Link one of choice. If you don't want this, you could always play Link Karibo or something like that in exchange. For the exceeds, we play 2 Traptrix Rafflesia, the best exceed for the deck. Probably one of the most powerful things. The continuous effect to protect your stuff is just never looked at. So it's just people play into this really, really hard, but it's a nice card. 1 Pingicula to search, and 1 Alamaris. I don't think I really ever make this. So if you're looking for a slot to cut, you could go for this. After that, 1 Baguska, 1 Redoer, and 1 Sheep. Sheep is actually a really nice addition to the deck. I like it, especially if you're forced to go into more of a grind game. Just a really cool all-around card, lets you cycle stuff back, different things like that. And then rounding out the extra deck, we play double Zeus. We are still, at the time of recording at least, in limbo, waiting for a ban list. So I'm throwing in 2 Zeus here just as an honorary tip of the hat to cash while it's still around, or at least around in the capacity that it is right now. So you still at least need a couple Zeus. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. And the extra deck, I'll go ahead and talk through the side deck. The side deck is extremely toxic. My goal with this was just to guarantee, whether you're going first or second, to close out whatever you need. So we're playing pretty much as many power cards as you can fit. Starting off with 3 Shifter. Shifter is still very impactful right now. No, not against Cash, but against Pearly and Super Heavy Samurai. It does quite a lot. Still not even terrible against some of the other rogue decks as well. After that, triple Dark Ruler no more. We have either quote-unquote kaijus or karikuras in the main, so I don't feel a need to have any additional type of removal in that fashion. So Dark Ruler is the second best pick. Decks like Sprite are still around. Big board negates like Super Heavy Samurai. This puts in a lot of work. And of course, the best card to pair with Dark Ruler is Lightning Storm. Again, respecting back row decks too for things like Labyrinth, different things like that. This is a really powerful card, just another great board breaker. And then for the going first cards, 3D Barrier. This could be a different floodgate. If you want to experiment with Gozen, you can. I've leaned off that just because Super Heavy Samurai mostly are all Earths, and their synchros are not terrible, and they can play under it, so I just don't want a dead card. I want something that does at least a little bit against every single matchup. And then the last one is just triple Anti-Spell Fragrance. If you're really, really concerned about this kind of stuff, you could play Summon Limit as another floodgate of choice and special summon a lot of the Traptrix monsters on your opponent's turn. Keep them protected with cards like Rafflesia and Pianissimo. Pianissimo, and then do the Xyz plays on your turn. But 3 anti-spell, again, one of the most powerful cards in the format right now. They can't scale. If you're super heavy samurai, they're going to get maybe 1 or 2 quick plays off if they're pearly, and that's it. So really great card against most of the format. So that's it for the main. The extra to the side, that is my take on pure Traptrix. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed the tech of Pianissimo. If you haven't experimented with that, give it a try. It's not bad. If you're looking for something like me that has that protection effect, that niche for the deck, go for it. Ghost Ogre and Gamma are the hand traps of my area to a T, so I needed something like that to help counter it. But with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Later.